All right. This hand's fine. We get hold upper manned, turn 1. Turn 2, we can preordain plus leave upper manned. Keeping it. No white source, though. Opponent mauls, keeps it 6. Chapel. All right. So we go island, jet, pass. And remand a lot of different things, I'm sure, like a signet or whatever. All right, Exalted Angel, let's preordain, see if we can't find a white source here. Hey, white source and mana tithe. I think I'll keep both. They both seem pretty valuable here. So, since I can't even play the mana tithe yet, put that second, put the plains on top, and pass. This way we maybe have a little bit of a counter wall he's got to get through. We're also in Venser territory now, so good to keep in mind. What do we got? No signet. Ooh, missing the land drop too. Okay, well, let's try and capitalize on that. Jace, very nice. Can't quite do Jace yet, especially if he doesn't hit. Well, here's the thing. Oh, well, this makes it easy. We'll do that. Still need a second white source before we can flip it up, but I really hope it doesn't hit the land drop and then tries the signet again so I can tithe it, because that's going to work well. Telegraphing the tithe, perhaps. All right, hit the land. Can't mana tithe it anymore. Chrome Mox. All right, so theoretically I can do Chrome Mox, exile. Now I could exile Mana Tithe, and then I could play Cloud Goat or flip up my Exalted Angel. Both of which are actually pretty good. I think I'd rather play the Cloud Goat though. Could have Damnation, but no second black source yet. Pretty tempted to go Chrome Mox, exile Tithe, play Cloud Goat, swing for 2. Let's swing for 2 first. Still 2 resources from Elish Norn, but we are in Exalted Angel territory, which is nice. No board presence yet from our opponent either. All right, now I get to leave up Venser too. So I get to swing in with team. I'm not going to unmorph my dude until the end of his turn. The reason being because I want to keep up Venser for like Damnation if he hits the second black source. If it doesn't hit anything, then I just... Okay, so now I end of turn. Unmorph. Get in. All right. Xaxes. So playing against a bunch of different colors. White, black, blue, green, something abusive with artifacts, something abusive with creatures. I think the strip mine build could be extremely good against this, since he only had one land that actually produced colors, and then a signet. Maybe I went disenchant maybe, but probably not, just because they can get it back with the academy. That worked well for us. I think we're just going to try it again like that. Disenchant was the only option I could think of. I mean, he's playing the academy, so he's got to have some good artifacts in there. But what do I cut for that? Could cut a tithe. Because now that he's seen the tithe, the fear of the tithe is there, and maybe that's all. Maybe that's all that it needs. Just putting the fear of tithe, so they play around it for the remainder of the match, even if I don't have it anymore. It's not that bad. I'm gonna swap it out. It's just on the hunch that the fact that they're playing the academy or whatever to bring it back from the graveyard is not the academy, is it? Maybe it is. I can't remember what its name is, but you know what I'm talking about. The land that brings back artifacts. That just sort of strikes me as I've got some Omega artifacts I want in my deck, you know, if they're willing to play that. So let's bring in the disenchant on a hunch and see if that does something for us. Turn 1 Soul Ring, turn 2 Venser. Turn 2 Venser seems pretty good. Academy. Moxpoil. What do we got? Turn 1 Signet, Pearl, Academy. It's pretty awesome. It's a lot better than ours. Where's Strip Mine when you need it? Uh-oh, Memory Jar. All right. So, Memory Jar is pretty dirty. I almost want to Venser bounce it, but I'm not sure if that's the best. Well, I'm going to Venser bounce it now. So him sacrificing it here doesn't really help him. He'd just get the 3 cards back and we'd both lose 7 cards. So if I Venser bounce it, he probably wants to replay it, and then I can Flicker Wisp my Venser after attacking. So let's do that. Jeez. Well, Disenchant was the right move. Would love to see a Strip Mine off the top right about now. All right. So let's play a land, attack with Venser. Flicker Wisp. So I don't think this is going to work now because what's going to happen is Memory Jar does it at the beginning of the next end step. So if I bounce it because it's the end step, he can use it in response, and then unfortunately we're SOL. He's going to get a whole new hand to work with. I think I do Simic Signet, so that way he doesn't get all his mana to work with. That's better than the Memory Jar now. Because if I do it on a Memory Jar, he just cracks it, and then he gets all the cards to work with. So this way, at least, I eat up some of his resources getting the Signet down. He has to basically tap a Swamp and a Ruins or something. Play the Signet before he gets all the lands. At least gives him a few less resources to work with. Alright. Well, let's compulsive. Huh. Let's ditch a white. Let's play a blue. Wish I could play Jace. So now he gets to crack Memory Jar, he gets all the goodies. Well, I can actually play the Tutor. Actually, I can play... I'm going to play Click here then. Click's going to let me at least look at his hand and maybe deal with something that's going to school us. I mean, this is his temporary hand, both of our temporary hands, so I'm going to lose all these cards. Gristlebrand, jeez. Yeah, we're getting rid of that. Welder can get back his Memory Jar, but he does not have the red resource for that. Oh, he does, because of the Blood Crypt, I see. But I can't do lands. I mean, I can just put Gristlebrand, the obvious... Well, I can deal with Gristlebrand when I get my hand back. He's short the black source for it. He'd have to play a Swamp, and then he'd still be short. the black source. On burial rights, going to the graveyard's kind of a big deal. All right, so memory jar makes you. I think it puts all the cards in the graveyard. So him having unburial rights and Gristlebrand in the graveyard is pretty nasty for us. He's got to be a reanimator deck. Let's just get rid of the one threat, I think. Although the fact that I'm getting Swords to Plowshares back makes me less concerned about it. The fact that unburial rights goes to his graveyard and he gets that use out of it could be a big deal. Welder, getting back the memory jar is kind of a big deal too. I'm trying to think what's the most abusive. Welder, memory jar, if he has more cards in his library, which he does, he could theoretically just take me out that way. Let's just get rid of... Let's get rid of Gristlebrand. If he plays the Welder, I'll get rid of it. The fact that he can't play Gristlebrand there makes me less want to do it, but I don't want it in his graveyard with unburial rights. I can upkeep Tutor, find a counterspell, Mana Leak or something, but it's going to be less good with that Academy out. No, and I can't even upkeep Tutor because of memory jar. This is my temporary hand only. I have to remember that. I should have taken a picture of his hand. All right, we're definitely swordsing the Welder. Which is just going to let me not let him draw a million cards and abuse memory jar. Uh-oh, that's not good. Okay, well, that's actually not the worst. Could untap Tolarian Academy to play more spells. But I'm glad that that's not happening. He's just trying to slow the damage down, I think. So I think we're just snap killing Goblin Welder. Oh, no. Got the Woodfall Primus, too. Well, I've got control magic for that, I guess, so... Let's just drop Elish Norn. Is that lethal? No, we're short of lethal, but Elish Norn's definitely the play. So we get rid of Welder, we kill Ralzeric with Venser, attack him for 5. So he can unburial rights his Woodfall Primus, take care of our Soul Ring. Two cards left in his hand. No artifacts currently to bring back with the Ruins. Problem with control magic on Woodfall Primus is when it dies, and persists, it goes back to my opponent. So I don't know if I actually like that. But we got the match. Sweet. Eldritch Norn did some work. Did we disrupt? We didn't disrupt too terribly much. I basically clicked away a Gristlebrand because I didn't want to deal with that. He's just Memory Jar Reanimator, I guess. But he had a lot of mana with Tolarian Academy. I'm glad that worked out for us. Sweet. All right, I'll see you round 2.